Today, it's the penultimate week of the regular season, week 16, and we've got a good one in store between the Minnesota Vikings and the Carolina Panthers. First carry of the game for Christian McCaffrey. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. On 2nd down, McCaffrey. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. On 1st down, it's Newton. This one complete to Curtis Samuel. And a loose football. And this belongs to the Vikings. After all of the turnover woes that they had last week, another turnover on the first drive of the game.
And when you dive into the analytics of football, it's real simple. If you're down in turnover margin, you're not going to win very many football games. The best teams always rank in the upper part of the league in terms of turnover margin.
And last week's number for them was 5 turnovers. And as you saw, another one there. And he's got the hook up here. It's Kyle Rudolph. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. And he'll get it down here to the 43. There are the numbers for Cook from a week ago. 18 carries, 72 yards.
They look like a team that really emphasized the running game in the offseason. They were going to build around it. Didn't matter if they were going to run gap scheme, power scheme, whatever. They've got a runner who finds yardage if you give him just a little bit of space.
They go play action here on 1st down. He'll find Thielen working the middle. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. A gain of 32 that time.
We just saw him hit a big play there on a deep post. And most of the time, the post isn't available because usually you have defenders in the middle of the field. But if you throw enough curls and crossing routes and underneath routes, I know from experience, they get tired of watching those balls get caught. They start to creep up a little bit, and that's when you can hit them big over the top.
Give them 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
They did a really nice job there defensively. They strung the play out, didn't give them a cutback lane. On each play, you have guys what I call BCR players. Guys are responsible for the bootleg, for the cutback, and for the reverse. They played that one perfectly.
And rode him right out of bounds. And it's still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to 3rd down. Now Cousins. And this is going to be intercepted. It's Shaq Thompson here with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
And he finds some space past the 25 to the 27. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
Operating from the 27 now. Here's 2nd and 3. And before this 2nd down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Here's Newton now on 2nd down. He'll rifle this and got his man complete. That one goes for 36 yards.
That's a big-time pitch and catch right there. And, partner, I remember the days when quarterbacks would try this. They were holding their breath. But nowadays, they're counting on their receiver to be just a little bit better than the defensive back when it's one-on-one and the ball's in the air like that.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10.
Delay of game, offense.
That's going to set them back 5 yards.
Still 1st down.
Now they need 15 yards on this series after the delay of game. 1st and 15. He'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
One of the things you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
To throw on 2nd down is Newton. He's going to rifle one, and this is caught. And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. In for the score. And the Panthers are going to take a first-quarter lead. Now, he's tough to contain as it is, but in man coverage with a pretty deep pass downfield, really tough to contain.
And it's so difficult because every play you've got to consider he might try and run past you. So your goal as a defensive back is to give him plenty of cushion, meaning lots of space between you and him. If he wants to catch the short stuff, come up and secure the tackle, hit him a bunch during the game, and try and keep him in front. If you turn your head for a second, if your concentration wanes,
bye-bye.
He just takes off and goes, and I think that's what we just saw there.
Gano out to kick this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota as the season winds down and you look at them in totality. You know, the offense has struggled. The defense has been pretty good, so I would imagine the changes this offseason may be more on the offensive side of the ball.
And this is where we always hear the term complementary football because, as you noted, the defense has played well enough for them to win games, and the offense has held them back. So they've got to reward that defense by improving on offense. I don't know if you make a change, a quarterback, running back, tight end, it doesn't matter. Get better players, better system, so they can play to the standards of the defense, and the win column will result.
Off the play fake, Cousins. Incomplete, right side to tight end Rudolph. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. From the gun, here's Cousins. And incomplete on the deep ball. That makes them now 0 for 2 here in the first quarter on third down conversions.
And now they'll look to their defense because they need them to step up so they don't fall further behind here in the early going.
And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. Now the Panthers offense, they get set to come back onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And he'll get only a couple up to the 22.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
From the 22, here's 2nd and 8.
Let's go, defense. Let's go.
On 2nd down, here's Newton. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee.
Defense.
So they saw the contact before the ball arrived. Penalty flag for pass interference.
And trying to avoid pass interference is so difficult. You're trying to slow down these skilled receivers, and somehow, some way, they make plays on the football, and sometimes you're there too soon.
And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll slice his way down to the 30 with a pickup of 7. With my good friend Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin with you. Oh, it's a nickel set here defensively on 3rd and inches.
Still want to be prepared for a pass.
Out of the gun, Newton. And he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively, but instead it just brings up 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Maybe a little fortunate there. That was leaking a little, maybe leaking a lot, but he got it.
Yeah, he actually was able to make it work. How about the body language, though, right? As he watched that ball leak to the right, trying to bring it back in, and had just enough to get it done.
Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again, and it's been a rocky start for them thus far. They had the turnover and then the punt on those first 2 drives.
So there is optimism because they've improved, right? Turnover, you just noted it.
Punt's better. Punt's better than the turnover.
The punt is better on the second one. Now they're hoping to turn it into first downs and hopefully points.
And he'll get this one up to the 26. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Lets it fly for Thielen. And they went for a big play through the air on 2nd down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost
3rd down pass falls incomplete. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in the good defensive position, able to affect the play.
And this one will be down by a member of the kicking team at about the 40-yard line. Carolina getting set to take the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
On 2nd and 10, Newton. He's going to let this one go deep. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd.
Fans do love the long ball, don't they? And he already found his guy once. Tried to give him another chance there, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Couldn't connect, but as you alluded to, he does have that touchdown from earlier, trying to keep him in the rhythm. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. A shotgun snap for Newton. He's going to rifle one deep left, and that's caught inside the 30. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
On 1st down, this is McCaffrey. And he stopped immediately there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. Off the corner. Where'd he come from? Well, I guess he came off the corner, but really nice play.
I like when you're able to pose a question and answer it at the same time. That's exactly where he came from, but it's not something that you normally see. Most of the time, we're thinking about those guys covering pass catchers. In this case, he was a big factor in the run game. No gain.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Newton. They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. Give him 5 on the screen play, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
From the gun on 3rd down, Newton. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll be brought down with the 1st down and a late flag here, too. And he may get a few more tacked on for good measure.
Defense.
So give them the yardage on the pass and half the distance to the goal line.
Because they're inside the 30. So now you don't march off the full 15, right? You have half the distance to the goal. In any event, that's precious real estate given up.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. McCaffrey following the penalty. And just shy of the goal line as he's out of bounds right at the 1. Give him 4 on the carry there at 2nd and goal. When we talk about being on schedule, I think they're on schedule after that run, getting it right down there on the doorstep.
Maybe even a little bit ahead, because now the defense can't dictate with pressure. They're guessing about where you're going to go.
And he is in. Touchdown, Carolina. It's the fullback. His first touchdown of the year. And the Panthers are able to grow their lead. And that's why you have the fullback, Charles. Couldn't get it into play before with a smaller guy. Turned to a little more power. They score.
And that has to warm the hearts of a lot of old-school football fans. They love when they get to see a little bit of power football.
Gano out to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here comes Kirk Cousins now to lead his offense back out there. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown one interception. He wants to bounce that off with at least one touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
It's been my observation. There's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
And unable to get downhill there, so he'll take this up to about the 37. In on the tackle there, Luke Kuechly.
When we talk about Luke Kuechly, you can't talk about his overall game without talking about his intelligence and how he controls the whole defense. He quarterbacks that defense, and at times will actually make checks, just like a quarterback would on offense to get him into the right defense. They definitely were on that play. How about that finish? Holding that to a minute.
And this will be caught at the 30. Yeah, he's got this to the 30 before being taken down. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
Usually hitting a deep post pattern, as we just saw there for a big gainer, that's tough to do because you usually have a safety or two in the middle of the field. But if you hit enough crossers and underneath routes and curls, you start to get those guys creeping up, wanting to make plays on the football. It's the equivalent of a change-up in baseball. You show your other stuff, throw the change-up, and on that play, it worked for big yardage.
A minute 58 to go in this first half of play. Back with more from Charlotte after this. Now a second down throw for Cousins. This will be caught inside the 10. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. That one goes for 24 yards. This is first and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. They'll throw again. Cousins. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up second down.
Well, one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Again, it's Cousins. And it'll be intercepted. Picked by Kevin Byard. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
Now following the interception, here's Newton. Smith catches left side. Torrey Smith, watch him go. Touchdown, Carolina. Correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions, and I'd hear 9 from the receivers. That meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. Cousins on first down. Throwing for his running back, he's got him complete. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. On 1st and 10, Cousins. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. It's the Pro Bowler Luke Kuechly that picks it. And he's able to bring it up 5 yards shy of midfield to the 45-yard line. So that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December. Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake, after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
He's going to loft one deep left side here. And lucky to get away with one there. That one nearly picked. 2nd down. Well, he's been the guy already over 100 yards here in the first half. Could have had a lot more if he would have been able to haul that one in.
Yeah, in fact, our statistician Marvin was already handing me a piece of paper with that yardage totaled on it. He thought that catch was going to happen just as you and I did as well.
Back to the air, Newton on 2nd down. Taking a shot for Samuel. And this is, oh my goodness, he pulled it in one-handed. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. Cam Newton with his 3rd touchdown pass of this first half. And the Panthers have got it on cruise control. And he's able to put it through.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And now out comes Minnesota. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk is a big decision here.
And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. Now before this 2nd down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the 2nd quarter. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Cousins now on 2nd down. Throw left side on target to Thielen. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. Cousins now from the 50. And that's going to be incomplete. 12 seconds left. The All-Pro linebacker Luke Kuechly right there on the coverage, stride for stride. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Working out of the gun, Cousins. Under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line. So it's halftime here in Charlotte with the Panthers out on top. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando. That's where we find Jonathan Cook. All right, hang on. We'll jump over halftime. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And with the final fortnight of games upon us, teams jockeying for position. Some of these games really starting to take enormous importance as they always do this time of year.
I like how you use fortnight.
Hey, you're impressed, don't you?
I am impressed. That means 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
That does.
But how about exactly what you're talking about? Going down the stretch, how much importance is placed on these games. Look, everyone talks about every game's important. When you get to this time of year, maybe that importance gets quadruple. And that's where we are right now to see who can make their last run, their last push to get into the playoffs.
To throw, Cousins. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's third down.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
On third down, Cousins. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked by Kevon Seymour. And he will score. Touchdown, Panthers. This D wanted to put it away before we even get to the 4th quarter, widening that margin a bit further.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, if you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion.
Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And that will extend this big lead. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. And fresh off the pick 6, they've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball, he's got to be like what we talk about with defensive backs who get beat for a long touchdown. Short-term memory, right back out there doing the things that he does best, and knowing that taking care of the ball is paramount. Here's his opportunity.
It all comes back to those defensive backs for the former DB, right?
I don't know where that comes from. It just kind of emerges out of me for some reason.
Deep in there, right? Now Cousins. And Rudolph has it left side. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
It is hard in zone coverage to stop a curl route because when they see it, they just try and find the open spot and sit down.
Yeah, we always talk about finding the soft spot in the zone. What's the key to doing that? How do you do it?
You have to read what the coverage is. Is it 2 deep? Is it 3 deep? Because then you know where the linebackers are going to drop, what spots on the field they naturally get to, and you find that open space, and then you're in sync with your quarterback. He should be reading the exact same thing, and they put the ball right on you.
First down, here's the run with Cook. They'll wind up getting 4 down to the 36. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill out the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
Second down, Cousins. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Ballard. 50 catches for him now on the year, and he's got a first down. Well, this is how you shake the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row. I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it. I just figured there's something wrong with the football.
A give. This is Cook. And he'll get this one down to about the 27. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play, stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. It makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
From the shotgun, it's Cousins. Now he's up and underneath to his running back, complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
And certainly some style points there on the spin. Not a whole lot thereafter, but still a pretty good gain. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Some good strong running right there, some power and some explosiveness just about got him into the end zone.
Here's Cousins. And Rudolph has got it. The big tight end for a Viking touchdown. Kyle Rudolph, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Vikings are able to at least knock this deficit down a bit. Yeah, he is a reliable target. They like to get him involved. They got him involved there for the score.
And they should. He's a very good player. Remember, they can use him in certain positions, so many different spots, and he usually comes through for them.
This one taken just inside the 10. Now a hit and a loose football. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Trying to fire up that running game with Dalvin Cook. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on 1st down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
Cousins. And my goodness, another interception. It's Shaq Thompson here with a pick. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. They were looking the way of Decker that time. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it.
Touchdown, Carolina! A big play there. His 3rd touchdown of the game, number 16 on the season. And the Panthers just continue to pour it on. Extra point try, good by Gano.
And this is obviously quite a performance, and most of the time when we talk about someone putting a team on their back, I think we're talking about a guy who runs the football. In this case, it's a guy out wide catching it, and he's done exactly that, truly leading his team right now towards victory.
3 touchdown catches. He's been the headliner. And out now come the Vikings. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side, because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. On 2nd down, Cook. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
Well, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Handoff comes to Cook. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On the ground, it's Cook. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield, because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly what they did.
Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. They'll try to throw now. Cousins. Over the middle here to Rudolph. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That one goes for 24 yards.
his position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. And he's heating up at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard down to the 16.
He's had success on this drive, but not on this play.
Finally, they bowed up defensively. I think they were determined not to let him take it pretty. And we're back now in Charlotte. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. They run it again with Cook. And he'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 14-yard line.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Third down, Dalvin Cook. So he got 3 on one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. It's a gain of 5, and now the question, will the offense stay out there on 4th and 1?
This team doesn't mind running the ball in any situation, and I thought he was going to get the first down the way the play developed, but the defense closed in and stopped him just about a yard short.
The kick by Tavecchio is good, and they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what
Carolina getting set to take the field. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now. They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again takes this up just short of the 30, but he was able to avoid that earlier tackle. Nice move. So that one will get him halfway to the first down marker. 7 yards makes it 3rd and 7 now.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Throwing on 3rd down, Newton. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Fourth quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
That'll go as a punt of 42, 7 on the return. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Now Cousins. And complete, right side to Cook. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Give him 30 yards there. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff.
Yeah, when we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
Again, it's Cook. And he'll take this down for about 4 yards, down to the 15.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action, hit them over the top.
On third down, that's Cook. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. Call it a gain of 5, 4th down now.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
Tavecchio puts this one through, and they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. So they've put together a good little drive there, but ultimately stalling out in the red zone.
Yeah, I know a lot of people look at it as a little bit down over there. So all in all, to me, that's a good drive.
Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number as empirical.
And he's going to get this inside the 30. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
They go play action here on first down. And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues.
And now we've hit that stage of the game, partner, where one of our predecessors, one of the great commentators of all time, he used to sing in this situation when this game appeared to be over.
I know the fat lady's been singing for some time.
No, not her at all. This is
but
one of our
she's
guys.
Singing too.
Oh, she's
on like the 5th tune.
Yeah, she left Scales way behind, but he used to sing something about turning out the lights. The party was over.
This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Time for a break. We'll come back and wrap up garbage time after this. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest,
I'm going to forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And now here's another interception. Picked by Kevon Seymour. And the return stops just a few yards shy of midfield. They'll spot the ball at the 47-yard line. Gosh, you add up last week and this week now. That's 9 interceptions in this 2-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost as if they can't even believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level in him so high that they believe he'll get out of it and make plays for them to win a game.
Well, they've said they believe in him. That's being tested right here. The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
So, Brandon, when this offense gathers together to watch tape for this game, they're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves until the coaches get upset about the play we just saw. But you know their defense is going to be. But we put up big points all game long. The defense is going to win one every now and then.
The tackle made there by Linval Joseph.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
The Panthers on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Here's Newton. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown.
I've got to laugh here, and I really don't want to because the old school in me is not happy about this score this late, not necessary. But this is Madden, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is how it works.
Rub it in. Have a day.
I mean, what does it matter? These guys who are playing in this game, there are no feelings
Exactly.
there.
They don't have to face the guy. Well, they might if they're in the same room going head-to-head.
But that's
the
about
virtual guys on the screen don't have to face each other after this one.
In that case, run it up.
This one fielded at the 5. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. What do you do here down like this in this situation? Do you maybe just pick something out of the playbook you haven't called in a while, or you call it a day?
You can do that, or you pick something that's a staple for you and should work better and try and execute that on the way out the door and maybe get back to base and feel a little bit better as you end a ball game that's been a frustrating one for you.
We'll see if they go back to base.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Captain Mutterland. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27.
Hey, I ain't folding under pressure, I ain't switching for no, I ain't talking to no cop and I ain't telling on my bros, ain't no, but don't push me, fingers itching on that, plotting on my come up, gotta watch stay at my nose, long nights I just to hit the studio, now me and steak and shrimp